Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we are going to discuss the upcoming transit of Jupiter leaving Cancer and moving into Leo for the first time in 12 years. This transit will occur on June 29th, 2026, and Jupiter will stay in Leo for nearly 13 months until July 26th, 2027. Since Jupiter spends about 1 year in each astrology sign, we have Jupiter moving through each sign every 12 years. So you'll also want to identify the house or houses where you have Leo energies, as this is where Jupiter is going to come in and make things easier for you. Jupiter expands potentials, brings in positive developments, reveals manifestations that are now ready to be fully claimed. Jupiter is beneficial, benevolent, expansive, and wise. And as Jupiter moves through a house in your chart, the energies in that house start to come alive and easily express more of the qualities of Leo. So in today's show, we're going to go through the Jupiter in Leo energy signature, and then I'll take you through all 12 astrology houses and what it means if Jupiter is transiting through that particular house in your chart, especially in Leo. So let's actually begin by discussing the transition of Jupiter moving from Cancer into Leo. So Jupiter in Cancer has been bringing up what you are ready to feel, restore, nourish, and heal in the Cancer energies that relate to nostalgia, reflection, family, home, inner child healing, past life memories, as well as memories of this lifetime, intuitive development, protective instincts, emotional safety, emotional restoration, and learning to trust your feelings and the wisdom of them more personally and more powerfully. Jupiter in Cancer can be deeply protective. It's also been moving us through a deeper internal connection to ourselves, especially strengthening our emotional foundations, healing our inner world, or anything from the past that's coming up for you to love, accept, and compassionately embrace. This can also involve family and soul connections. Anyone who means something to you, you might find that Jupiter in Cancer has been bringing you to new understandings of what those relationships are about for you personally. Cancer is a very personal energy, and so this is where you could feel that there's been more going on for you at a deeper emotional level that's actually going to lead you forward with new rewards, developments, and a stronger, clearer connection to what your heart needs and wants. We can feel more emotional authenticity with Jupiter in Cancer. We can feel stronger in expressing how we feel, what we want, what we need. There can also be a new sense of safety in trusting yourself and all of your energy, including your intuition and what you pick up on energetically in a space. This energy also has been teaching us how to care for ourselves, how to soften, how to flow and move with whatever is revealing itself within us. There's also the potential here of really gathering a lot new wisdom around your life, your path, your previous experiences that have shaped and formed you. And that's because Jupiter always seeks the higher knowledge. What have I been learning? What am I understanding about myself in a new way? Where am I accessing more of my heart, more of my emotional world, and more of my personal needs that maybe I wasn't consciously aware of? And so Jupiter can bring up what has been unconsciously operating within us in the Cancer areas of our charts, and then bring it to the surface so that we see it in a new way that allows for expansive growth. Essentially, Jupiter wants us to be better, wants us to feel more confident, more alive, more inspired, and more in touch with the truth of who we are. So this could also have been a cycle with Jupiter in Cancer where you're changing areas of your life that no longer match who you are. They're no longer in alignment with your true needs and your true self. You could find that there are things that have fallen away or left your life because they aren't in integrity with your heart, with your emotional needs. And you could even find that this has brought about people you can trust and or people you cannot trust. And trust is always a key word with Cancer, because that's where you then feel safe to be yourself, to be courageous in sharing your truth, your heart, your needs. Jupiter has been exalted in Cancer, which means it is an easy fit. It has a very nice synergy to it, and Jupiter does well in Cancer. And so as Jupiter prepares to move into Leo, the energy shifts from the strengthening love of this cardinal water sign into the dynamic, strengthened self-expression of the fixed fire. And the energies are very different. That is one of the patterns of the astrological wheel, that as a planet changes signs, it moves from the feminine into the masculine. It moves from one element into another element. It moves from one modality into another. So there's a significant shift when a planet changes signs, because now what you have been listening to, how you've been softening, and what you've been able to trust and receive is going to gain strength and support you in what you're here to powerfully claim, offer, and express in new ways. This can show up as greater confidence after emotional healing, a desire to teach, perform, lead, or create something in a whole new way because of how those personal Cancer energies have shifted internally for you. You could have renewed vitality and life force as Jupiter moves into robust Leo. There can be stronger self-worth, increased radiance and magnetism and charisma. There can also be now a desire for more fun and joy and pleasure as the Leo energy seeks to do something that gives it life and makes every day more enjoyable. So it is a noticeable shift, and that's important to note because this is going to be fire yang energy that Jupiter is expanding, which of course is very different from the water yin energy that it has been in Cancer. So we'll go through all 12 houses here, since each house is an environment of life that represents a part of your energy field and an area of expression that Jupiter is going to bring to life and make more active for you. I'll discuss a little bit more about Jupiter in Leo, just to paint a fuller picture here of what is possible. So when Jupiter goes into Leo, there's going to be more of a desire to stand powerfully in the solar plexus light of who you are. It could feel easier to do so, to declare your needs, to feel confident in your self-identity, to be visible and seen for more of who you are after significant times in your life that have required you to become more conscious of that light. And so I feel there's this amplification here of the light that I believe directly relates to the light body, what you have closed out and cleared out, what karma is done for you, what emotional healing has transpired for you. And this could even be a sense that your inner child is being lit up and that your light body feels more crystalline, effervescent, and radiant. There could be an ease here in being who you are, in claiming your skills, talents, gifts, abilities with a strong sense of self that is not overly egoic or overly demonstrative. Jupiter in Leo can be very bold, and it can be that look at me energy that can sometimes be too much. It can also bring about where we're seeking validation and recognition outside of ourselves in an excessive way. So that would be one thing to keep in mind, is to determine, am I validating and loving myself, or am I seeking that from others? That will be one of the themes here as Jupiter moves through Leo. And do keep in mind that I'll be doing other podcast episodes on this topic. We have a few things to discuss with this. But as the first topic here on Jupiter and Leo, I wanted to not only give you some understandings of the energetics, but then help you relate it to where Jupiter is moving through your chart. Jupiter can also be extravagant and go overboard. And so there is a need to stay mindful of what needs to be regulated and moderated, because Jupiter can love too much of a good thing. And in Leo, this can show up as excessive displays of importance, being too much of a risk taker to the point that it is reckless. There can be too much competition with Jupiter and Leo. There can be a sense that you're only involved in yourself and your own life or your own personal world with no comprehension or connection to what's going on outside of you. And so when these energies are amplified, it can be a very big persona that doesn't know how to ground in with self-awareness. But a healthy Jupiter in Leo is where you're going to feel renewed confidence in yourself, in an area of life that matters to you, and also connect you to your heart. And that is an important energy here with Jupiter in Leo. You could have a new sense of a creative vision or inspiration that's ready for you. You might have a passion-driven desire to move ahead. There can be more heart-centered openings and impulses that come to life. You could just also feel more courageous, a sense of, I'm ready to do something new. I'm ready to be more of myself and to take a risk on a new opportunity or a new area of life. Jupiter in Leo is also going to expand energies related to love, dating, relationships, sex, and desire. Leo is about attraction. It's about what you desire and who you're attracted to, as well as what you magnetize in and create with others. You could think of Leo as creation, recreation, and procreation. And this also relates then to children, whether that is your own personal inner child or the children that are created that you are raising and experiencing. This is going to be beautiful energy for relationships, partnerships, and love-based connections where both individuals are feeling strongly grounded and connected to their heart, their needs, their love, their creativity, and their desires. And then I'm thinking about how this energy is also going to bring about renewal in any relationships or connections that you may be in, where maybe you're ready now to try something new with a partner or in a relationship. Maybe there's a sense of, let's take a risk, let's see where this goes, let's see what happens. And so something can be brought to life at a whole new level with Jupiter in Leo in established relationship dynamics. This can help with vitality, joy, sexual connections, romance, mutual artistic pursuits, and passionate alignment. So I wanted to be sure to share that because I know that so many of you are ready for that in your lives, and that is something that you are seeking in this new chapter. So let's go through how Jupiter in Leo will be affecting all of the 12 astrology houses in the chart. And as a quick note, you are welcome to use whichever house system resonates for you. It is a personal choice, whether you prefer whole house, equal house, Placidus, or any number of house systems. Choose whichever one aligns and supports your energy and trust that that is the correct one for you. Some people find that they have followed a certain house system for a while, and then their energy changes in such a way that a different house system interpretation works better for them. And so that could be something that you're discovering or figuring out. For other people, they like to look at two house systems at once. So they might be tracking both Placidus house system and whole house, for example, to understand which one seems to be most accurate for them. So know that there is no extreme right or wrong. There's only what works for you and aligns with your chart. So if Jupiter in Leo is moving across your ascendant and into your first house, this Jupiter is going to amplify your confidence, warmth, and natural leadership. You might find that you have more of a magnetic presence that others immediately notice. This is an expansive energy that invites you into more of who you are, especially your self-awareness, your authenticity, and your body. What your body is saying and communicating to you, especially through the Leo-ruled areas of the chart, which involve the chest, heart, solar plexus, heart conditions, higher heart, and upper back regions of the physical body. Jupiter moving across your ascendant and into your first house could be a time of renewal. In fact, this is the beginning of a new 12-year cycle, and so you may be called to recreate yourself, reinvent yourself, establish a new style or look that aligns with who you are now. This can bring about a lot of creative energy that you feel is moving through you, that you're almost like this container for this whole wealth of creative juices and creative expression. You'll want to find a healthy way to express that energy and move it through you. And it could certainly feel like you are undergoing a big renewal. You might be ready to explore more of your talents, gifts, or abilities that have been on the back burner. And Jupiter in the first house is essentially bringing you into a new connection with yourself, meeting yourself in a whole new way, feeling more alive with new life force to be yourself. This can be very strengthening. You might even find yourself being seen as more of a leader, more visible, and more courageous with Jupiter in Leo in the first house. Jupiter in Leo in the second house, if this transit is occurring for you, it's going to bring about an expansion in your personal value, your self-worth, and abundance. You might find that financial growth happens easier with Jupiter in Leo in the second house, especially through what you create that's individually you. This would relate directly to your creative talents, your leadership abilities, any areas of life where you are visible. This could be teaching, performing, entertainment, anything that's on display, and others then would give you money or offer something to work with you. This could be something that is easier for you to experience with Jupiter in Leo in the second house. This also asks you to gain more confidence in your own innate prosperity, being more deeply connected to abundance, that you are an abundant creator of your reality, and that you might be ready to build something new here that feels beautifully aligned with your heart, with your solar plexus, and with your true self. This would also be something where you might feel ready to do something in a whole new way in order to generate not only money or financial energy, but to put your creativity on display in a way that is unexpected or just something you haven't done before. The second house wants you to feel strong in who you are and asks you to dig in to your foundation. And here comes Jupiter bringing about ways to grow and expand that. Jupiter in Leo in the third house is going to bring about an increase in your communication abilities, storytelling, writing, anything that you want to teach or learn will come about easier. This could be a time when you also feel that your throat chakra is beautifully alive and that it has a lot more you want to share, tell, or teach. You might realize you have new teaching talents or that you have more creative expression through words and ideas, and you want to do something with it. Jupiter in Leo is an active energy. This is where you're ready to try something in a new way and use more of your innate talents and gifts so that it will not only benefit you, but that it can be seen. There's a visibility here with all the Jupiter in Leo energies. Your mind could also be processing even more, thinking through things, looking at a more optimistic potential, perhaps even feeling like you're connected to more of the life force of the sun, which you are, and that your intuition is operating through your connections with others. The third house is about conversations, text messages, emails, what you are saying and how you're exchanging with others. And you might find that something comes about that takes off. It has a beautiful life force to it. It has a lot of great energy to it, and it comes about faster and easier. So this could be wonderful if, for example, you've been wanting to write a book or teach a class. If there's something you've been wanting to share that's based on your own personal knowledge base and you want to do something with it, you could have a beautiful opportunity here to use all of that information and make money from it, to offer it in a new way, to motivate others, or to inspire people. So this can be very active in that throat chakra. And the key here will be to ensure that you are also operating from the heart, that it's something sincere and real, that you're truly passionate about it. And that is where the energy will be self-sustaining and move you forward. Jupiter in Leo in the fourth house is where you will have an easier time expanding your emotional world and personal foundation. This is where it will be easier to have emotional healing, to have some healthy and happy family connections, to develop a beautiful home life, and to also feel stronger in your emotional confidence. It can be easier to do things in the home. This could even be the energy of ready to redecorate, ready to try some new colors or some new paint on the wall because of that Jupiter in Leo desire to create. And in the fourth house of home and family, you might find that it's easier to do so and that you want to create a whole new personal environment that gives you life. This is a private area of the chart. This is where you might find that you're seeking a very warm and welcoming sanctuary, that you want something that feels good for you. It could even honor your family ancestry, your lineage, your grandparents, or anyone from your extended family. You might find that it's also easier to care for yourself and to move through any blockages from the past that now that Jupiter in Leo is reclaiming with strength and confidence. So this can be a beautifully empowering turning point as that fourth house feels renewed with new life, new joy, and new happiness being brought into it. This can also support if you're looking to move, because Jupiter is going to open up how to make that easier, how to connect with the right people, and how you can manifest a home or personal space that is beautifully aligned for you. If Jupiter in Leo is moving through your fifth house, this is actually a double dose of Leo energy because Leo rules the fifth house. And so this is where you could feel more naturally expressive. This is where even more can be amplified and developed for you, especially in these Leo themes of creativity, joy, romance, performance, passion, fertility, artistic gifts, heart expressions, leadership. You might find that something comes through for you that's really significant with Jupiter and Leo in the fifth house. It's really your calling, and it's asking you to be more courageous and to own your light, to be very aware of the power of your light, how it is ready to shine brighter, and how you're here to do something at a whole new level that also connects to the heart, that's very much a passion and a driving force that's bigger than you. You could have strong talents around being seen and visible, performing, entertaining, leadership, working with children, working with the arts, music, drama, dance. The healing arts can also be really strong here too. And so you might feel called to do something you haven't done before or to try something new, even if you're not sure why. This is a motivational energy. That's how the fixed fire works. It desires to do something and to create it, and essentially nothing can stop it. So you might find that you're called to have a whole new part of your life open up with this Jupiter in Leo in the 5th house, and that it brings about more playfulness, more joy, and more creative flow, as well as more love. So this can be a beautiful Jupiter in Leo transit for you if it's moving through the 5th house. Jupiter in Leo in the 6th house is going to expand where you have work, service, daily routines, mentoring, coaching, a creative service. You might feel called to use your gifts in new ways in a professional environment. This is going to bring to life new ways of sharing your skill set with others, especially in a leadership capacity, as that is one of the strengths of Leo. And this would relate directly to professional environments as well as supportive environments, and highlight more of how you can teach, heal, guide, mentor, and support others on their path. It's going to be easier to do so. This expansive energy is also potentially going to bring about some real world developments and tangible opportunities that happen perhaps even out of the blue. You might be ready to take a risk and do something new that you've been postponing or uncertain about. And this could give you that desire to do something new and different. That's the courageous energy of Leo here. It's also going to ask you to feel more joy and passion in your daily life. There can be a lot of responsibility in the 6th house, a desire to make it perfect, make it the best, even being consumed by obligation and shoulds. Jupiter in Leo is going to come through and ask you to loosen that up and to not be too serious or too responsible. Also to know it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe it can be more fun or a little bit looser, and that is more effective and does the job better than expected. So Jupiter in Leo in the 6th house is also going to help ensure that what you're doing every day aligns with authentic joy and a renewal to your purpose, your body, and your own healing needs. Even though the 6th house can be very aware of what it's doing for others, it's essential to check in on your daily routines and maintenance energies. It's how you're maintaining your own mental health, your own physical body, and your own well-being. Jupiter and Leo can bring in new solutions, new potentials, new ways of caring for yourself that actually give you more energy. And so this can be a renewal of your life force with Jupiter in Leo in the 6th house. Then Jupiter in Leo crosses into the 7th house, and that moves into the second half of the astrology chart. And so the first 6 houses that I went through here are the houses of the self-identity, self-value, self-knowingness, your own joys, your own passions, hobbies, activities, and your own skill set. So houses 1 through 6 are about you and how you are knowing your energy more fully and holistically. Well, as the energy moves to the next 6 houses, the transition moves to the others and the bigger world. So then the energy goes outside of you. And this is where Jupiter in Leo is then going to expand you into new areas of connection with others, as well as move through new potentials and options in your everyday world that stretch you, require growth, and ask you to see more of what you're capable of. So Jupiter in Leo in the 7th house is going to expand relationships, partnerships, collaborations. It's also going to make you more magnetic socially, and you could start meeting a lot of people because Jupiter in the 7th house opens up how you meet people, who you meet, and what they bring into your energy and into your world. This is where you can attract new new partners, new business opportunities, and new collaborations that are very creative, successful, highly expressive. Jupiter in Leo in the 7th house can also be the archetype of who you bring in, of a partner you bring in, a collaboration, a connection, and conversations. And so this is where we're exchanging energy in the 7th house. And so relationships become more powerful as mirrors for self-confidence and heart expression. So you might find that you pull in more people who align with your heart, your own creative self, your own essence, and that they strengthen you. There's a mutual co-creation energy here that strengthens your energy field and strengthens theirs. Growth happens through the learning of the Leo energies, how to be responsible with your talents, your needs, your abilities. Mutual respect is also here to be developed. This can also make it easier to identify who's on the same creative wavelength, or even where you share similar values, connection styles, and interdependence energies. So the 7th house is a place of people, the other people that you meet and interact with who are mirrors of your own energy. And so Jupiter is going to bring in some people who are perhaps very Leo in their expressions, but essentially are helping you learn more about who you are through your relationships to them. Then after the 7th house, Jupiter in Leo is moving into the 8th house. And the 8th house is where we really dig in to what is hidden and what is below the surface that has more emotional intensity to it, more passion, more drive. This is the energy of psychic sensitivity and deep soul healing. There can be more transformation that occurs easily with Jupiter in Leo as you get to the heart of a fear. You feel courageous to face something that maybe has been too big of a monster or too scary. But Jupiter in Leo says, I'm going to do this. I can handle this. Let's go. And that's how the growth occurs, because you move through any of the emotional vulnerability of the 8th house and you move into greater trust, intimacy, and energetic connections that can help you feel like these parts of your life are being strengthened. Now, the 8th house is where energy merges with others, where you're establishing, if you have shared values, shared resources, shared life paths, shared passions, like what do we have in common? And the 8th house is going to bring up, well, we have to talk about things at a very true, open level to get to the heart of what we both need, of what we both want and desire. So the 8th house asks you to dig into more of your own personal truth and to share that with others in your life. Jupiter in Leo is going to make it easier to do so. You'll be able to declare more of who you are with this transit. You'll feel stronger in doing so, and greater healing can come about as well, because part of the 8th house is that it leads you through your own personal rebirth and transformation. And so you're going to sense that your emotional frequency is different, and that could be because of any work you've been doing through 8th house matters. The 8th house is one of the most intense houses because of how you have to face a fear, go into your shadow, be open to your healing and your own transformation. And then that is where you also have the glory and manifestations of moving through those energies within yourself. And so Jupiter in Leo in the 8th house can also bring about support from others, especially powerful people. That's part of how the 8th house manifests. Jupiter will bring in the resources you need from other people. It can help even with loans, financial developments, debts, or anything you need to pay off or take care of. Jupiter is going to make it easier to do so, especially when you have the Leo courage to let others know what you need or what you're seeking. And so Jupiter moving through the 8th house is also going to bring up some important, powerful players in your life, those who may be able to assist you. guide you or heal you through something and to remind you you don't have to do it all on your own. And so the 8th house is also where we're learning to trust others and to know who has our best interests at heart. So that could be something that Jupiter in Leo brings up, is that these are the people that you can work with, you can trust, and you can bring them into your own process. Jupiter in Leo in the 9th house is a very expansive transit. Jupiter is at home in the 9th house, and this can be a period of time where you experience life-changing adventures, understandings, spiritual growth, new belief systems, important cultural insights and education. Foreign travel and international trips are especially highlighted when Jupiter is moving through the 9th house. And so this could bring up something within you that you just have to do, or someplace you just have to go. With that Leo willpower, there is a surge of desire for something you need to move towards and experience. And these are expansive experiences that can change you at a very core level. The 9th house is where we seek out new meaning, inspiration, wisdom, and freedom. You may be compelled to do something on your own in a big way, especially anything that would inspire larger audiences or groups of people, or allow you to share your own belief systems in a very unique and or creative way. So this does pertain to teaching, publishing, philosophy, visionary ideals, higher education, exploration, and any larger than life passion that is driving you at this time. The Leo energy wants to create something on a larger scale here. And so you could have a big vision ideal of what that could be, and also feel that things are coming together to support you in executing it. There could even be more invitations and resources that open up for you to travel, teach, learn, or expand your horizons in some capacity. Jupiter in Leo in the 10th house is going to bring about new levels of success, advancement, recognition, and opportunities that are available to you through the grace and ease of a Jupiter transit. Jupiter is going to make it easier to obtain your next level goals and to also make it clear what your talents are to others. This is a transit of increased public visibility and recognition. This could be an energy that puts you on a stage. Perhaps you're doing public speaking, sharing your gifts in a bigger light. There can be a sense of wanting to take your creative talents and making them real through a business or serious entity that allows you to demonstrate what you're here to offer and share in the world. Strong ambition can be highlighted with Jupiter in Leo moving through the 10th house. This can also be a very commanding energy with strong leadership abilities that are demonstrated, as well as public recognition and career success that may bring you into a limelight of some type. You might be easily promoted during this transit. It will, in fact, be easier to be more visible and more seen. Your influence will increase, and this can also expand your energy and talents into other forms of media, healing, artistic demonstrations, stages, and some serious life opportunities. Jupiter in Leo in the 10th house is going to bring about advancements of some kind that are going to be personal to you, your abilities, your gifts, and your skills. And you may also be in a position to inspire and motivate others. Jupiter in Leo in the 11th house is where the energy of Jupiter wants you to have more prominent social influence, connect with more individuals and or communities, allow your creativity to shine in a very unique, authentic way. This can also activate more of your visionary goals and the people you're meant to bring those towards. You might be seen as more of a leader within groups or even attract supportive networks so that they can amplify their visibility and their purpose. This can be an energy of creative collaborations coming together where you're on the same page. Collective projects can flourish. You might even sense what this is about, the bigger picture that's unfolding, and you might have some very cool future visions around where it's going and how you are being uniquely positioned to contribute something important to a cause. Now, at an individual level, the 11th house is also going to inspire you to continue to move forward on your life path and to trust your own unique essence in what you're feeling called to create at this time. You might have others that you're connecting with who have a shared purpose, shared vision, shared goal, but this could also really strengthen your own individual soul mission and what you feel is essential for you to experience, create, and offer that might even be ahead of its time. It could be a wild, out of the blue idea that comes together, gains momentum, and has the capacity to inspire and motivate others. This can also give you the confidence to do something on your own terms, in your own way, with that Jupiter in Leo in the 11th house. And then finally, Jupiter in Leo in the 12th house is going to bring about further development of intuitive gifts, your own mystical insights. Any hidden messages or hidden abilities will be supported in coming to light. There can be a sense that you're strongly connected to something much bigger than yourself with this transit, and it leads you to trust yourself and create in a whole new way. This can also bring about closing out karma and unfinished soul contracts that you are meant to end in order to learn from them and move on. The 12th house is about endings, karmic release, and unraveling what is no longer needed. And so Jupiter in Leo is going to show you who you are now, what is essential to your self-identity and your life force, and even bring you in to times of solitude so that you can hear more of your soul's wisdom. The 12th house is very private. And so this is also where you connect with more of your spirit guides, your angels, your higher self, and it's easier to receive the downloads and messages that are essential for you now. You might even feel propelled to be of service in a new manner. You might sense that you're ready to do something that is very compassionate and selfless as a way to give back and offer what you have to others. And this can be deeply connected to the heart space. This can also be where you feel that your creative gifts are much bigger than you, and they're here to be something that others can benefit from, experience, or receive. There can be a selfless energy here when that Jupiter in Leo energy is rooted in service and the heart. And there's also the opportunity to come back to your soul here, where you detach from the external world. You let go of those outside of you or anything you've been seeking, and you return to your own quiet presence to just tune in to your radiant core. It's like this radiant core orb of creativity, and trust what feels alive within you. What do you want to create privately? What is something that you're inspired to do just for yourself, just on your own terms even, that reinforces your own unique essence? And so the 12th house is where you could feel the need to give back, to do some kind of selfless work. And it's also where you return to your soul's endless creative spirit to listen and be one with yourself to determine what you want to create next and what is calling to you. So this is more of a private internal energy, and the more quiet you can get, the more you will receive what this Jupiter in Leo is bringing through. There can be an increase here in dreams, artistic creations, meditation messages, receptive messages. It can be a state of just being open to whatever arrives, knowing that that 12th house is also helping you recognize the karma that's complete and what you are finalizing in this cycle. So Jupiter in Leo is going to be working with each of us differently depending on the house placement it's moving through. It's also going to be working with us powerfully through the rest of this year, as Jupiter in Leo will be making important aspects to the outer planets in July and August. We'll be discussing more of that as we move through these next few weeks and into July and August. But essentially, this is more personal for you when you can see where Jupiter is moving through your chart by house placement. And as you are feeling the strength and new life force of that Leo energy being lit up. Now, keep in mind that with this transit, and depending on the house system you use, Jupiter and Leo might be moving from one house to another house, and it could even be retrograding back into a previous house. And so how this transit is going to unfold is that Jupiter enters Leo on June 29th and will travel all the way to 27 degrees of Leo until December 13th, where it will station retrograde. Then Jupiter will be retrograde for 4 months, which is the case every year, and travel back 10 degrees to 17 degrees of Leo. So the territory in your chart between 17 degrees to 27 degrees is where that retrograde will occur, because we're just going to jump on ahead here down the timeline, and that Jupiter will station direct April 13th at 17 degrees of Leo, and then travel direct and finally complete its time in Leo until July 26, 2027. So this can help you see where Jupiter will be transiting through your chart, as well as where Jupiter will be spending the most time during that retrograde between 27 to 17 degrees of Leo. So as I said, we will be discussing this even more, but I thought this would be a good way to get a heads up on the energies of Jupiter in Leo and how it will be transiting through a particular house or houses in your chart. Now, if you want more about how this Jupiter in Leo is going to be working with you, then you're also going to want to understand how it's connecting with Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries, plus the opposition to Pluto in Aquarius and the sextile to Uranus in Gemini. This is going to be a very active, dynamic period of time. And you're going to want to see what is happening in your chart to understand how this Jupiter in Leo transit is going to be even more important in this cycle. So those of you who are in my Manifesting with the Minor Grand Trine course, you want to go to the year 2026, and that's where you'll find the 6 videos going through these big aspects and developments of the outer planets here in 2026. There is that separate section discussing Jupiter in Leo influences. That is more of a deep dive into these energies. Then we also discuss how it works with the outer planets as 2026 unfolds. So I want to mention that because I know that some of you are eagerly tracking these energies of 2026, especially as we approach July and August, which are very big energy months of this year. And these are beneficial developments. These are exciting manifestations unfolding. This is where it's time to move into these new chapters we've been discussing. And more people are going to be feeling and sensing that they're ready for these new chapters of their life to be real and actualized. And it's exciting when you connect the dots and see what's happening for you and seeing where it's unfolding based on the house placement. So that is one of the best ways to track your own astrology chart and to follow along with the story that's unfolding so that you can be in the highest possible alignment with your choices and your intentions around what you're creating in your life now with these very rare cosmic energies. So if you're in that program, be sure and sign in and check it out, revisit some of these videos so that you can be up to speed on what's happening in our current timeline. And then if you would like to join this program, please join us in manifesting with the minor grand trine, because again, July and August are turning point months, especially at a global level, where there will be significant advancements happening at a world stage level, but at a personal level, there's going to be things unfolding for all of us that are finally coming to fruition because the energy supports it, because this is where those outer planets are in a positive conversation and connections that are bringing together synchronicities and developments that will be right on time. And the beautiful thing about the minor grand trine is that it's going to be unfolding into 2029. And so this energy started in 2025. It's already been in play, but here in 2026 is when it really strengthens. It's much more refined and exact. And so it's going to have more of a burst of development and a burst of breakthroughs that happen. So I really hope that you're able to see what that is for you in your own chart. It's why I made this program, because I want you to be ready to say yes to what has your name on it, to take action, to move ahead, to be ready for what is beautifully aligning for you. So I'll put the link below the podcast as always, as well as a coupon code for 30% off manifesting with the minor grand trine. And this is a way for you to see what is coming through for you that does relate here to these Jupiter in Leo energies. So as always, thank you so much for joining me, and we will continue to discuss what is unfolding here as we move into the middle of 2026 and also continue to discuss more of the Jupiter in Leo themes. So have a beautiful day ahead. Wishing you a beautiful Jupiter in Leo transit, and I'll be back with a new episode every Wednesday and Monday here on this station, wherever you're listening to this. And we will continue to navigate these wild astrology energies together. Take good care, and I'll see you back here soon.